This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and thank you to Sphere Rocket VA for connecting us today with Carlo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course. So let's get to know you. You said there's not a lot to talk about, but there's plenty to talk about, Carlo. Let's get to know you. Take us back to the beginning. What market are you in? Where are you from? And how did you find yourself in real estate?
Sure. I am in the Metro Detroit market in Michigan, Southeast Michigan to be exact. Basically the Tri-County area, Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties is what my team and I service. And what got me into real estate was it was actually sort of by accident. I was 20 years old. My parents were in the process of purchasing a home at that point, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in business of some sort, but I watched that transaction take place, and guess what? I said, what the heck? This guy just made 6% to sell my parents a home. See, I was thinking he made 6, but so I think it was a little bit of the greed. At 20 years old, I said, wow, that's a lot of money. Come to find out later, it's a lot less, but you can still make great money in this business.
Absolutely. No, you're 100% right. You see that number, you get excited about it. That's what brings a lot of people to real estate. But, a large chunk of realtors do fail, but not on this podcast because I'm talking to the best of the best. We've got some icon agents. So, you saw that potential for money in there. You got excited. You're like, how easy is this? He just puts people in houses. Come on. So how did you get drawn to EXP?
Wow. Let me see how I can explain this, I guess. I started out at Century 21 for my first 3 years. I did very well there. And I actually was sort of chased away from being there after I looked at my paychecks at the end of the year and realizing that I paid them over $30,000 just in franchise fees alone. So I started to look for a better company, and I found KW. Okay. So I opened one of the first KWs in our area in Southeast Michigan here. We tried that for a few years. It was still new. I loved the concept of sharing with the agents. So that's what drew me to KW. Mm-hmm. And then when I left KW, I wanted something safe and secure because I had been with 2 other companies in 6 years, and I'm not that hop around type of agent.
Right.
So I wanted something with a good name brand that was stable, and I chose RE/MAX. I was with RE/MAX for about 16 years. I thought I would retire there. By the way, I think I have a good 20 years left in me. So that's I was there 16 years, mm-hmm. and I really thought I would retire there. I found EXP by accident. I happened to be looking into the KV core system while I was affiliated with RE/MAX, and come to find out it was about $1,000 down and $600 a month. And it was funny because that same week I came across somebody that was with EXP, and they said, "You're looking into that for how much? We get it for free." Mm-hmm. So that caught my attention a little bit. When I looked at a little bit more, I called one of the biggest producers in our area, Mark Z, and he's over $100 million producer. And he called me back about 9:00 that night, about 5 minutes later after I texted him. And he told me all about EXP, gave me the whirlwind tour in about 5-minute phone conversation. I couldn't stop thinking about it over the course of the next week, and I was in a week later.
That's awesome, and you saw EXP, you saw the model, you couldn't unsee it, you lost a little bit of sleep thinking about it, and you said, you know what, it's time to make the jump. And so, what keeps you at EXP? Have you come over and fallen in love with the collaboration, masterminds, stock share, revenue share? What really, makes you want to, I guess, retire with EXP?
You know what? you're asking me to narrow it down to one thing, but here you named all the good things that are awesome about it. I guess in short, I would describe EXP Realty as what I think is the absolute future of real estate. And that's why you have many people calling it, the Uber of real estate, the Airbnb of hospitality. It's so tech forward. That's what caught my attention. I'm in my mid 40s. I know I don't look it.
No, you don't. You look good, Carlo.
But I am pretty techie, and I love the fact that we have SkySlope, we have KV Core, and we have all these techie things that allow us to build a business in a much different way than at any other company.
Absolutely. And, you have the scalability, you have the ability to bring your own brand alongside with it. You're not just EXP, you're Carlo, but you're with EXP, which is great. And a lot of people have fallen in love with that. And obviously, you work hard, Carlo. You've got a lot going on, because what successful real estate agent doesn't. So at the end of the day, how do you take care of Carlo? How do you make sure you're not on burnout mode and that work life is at a decent balance?
That's a question that I'm asked often. And I can tell you that I was lucky enough that a good friend of mine, his name is Drew Seiget, he was in mortgages at the time, a top producer in mortgages. And he pulled me aside and he said, "What's your ideal schedule?" I said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
He said, "Let me share my Excel spreadsheet with you." He's very engineerial type. So he loved having an Excel spreadsheet that was built that showed that between 7 and 8 a.m. every morning, he was doing this and this. And between 9 and 11, he was doing this and this. But guess what I found when he shared that with me? He also had that, for example, between 11 and 12, he was at lunch. He planned his lunch. Okay. So a lot of these top producers plan their schedule, what they're going to do for work. But I saw in his spreadsheet that he planned for lunch. He planned for dinner with the family. He planned for every other weekend off. He planned those things. So I have had the benefit of being able to use, it's really his, I've made it into mine now, my ideal schedule. Yeah. So I know what I'm doing every Monday morning between 7 and 9. I know what I'm doing every Friday between 3 and 4. And so on and so forth. And it's customizable, so I share it with my agents.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's good, because, you're setting your boundaries. It's okay to take an hour to have lunch with yourself. Take 30 minutes to have a snack and not take any phone calls. Make sure you can eat. Make sure your lunch doesn't get cold on the table. Take care of you so that you can be your best facing your clients, so that you can be your best when you get to go home and hang out with the family. And, people that don't believe in a work-life balance, I feel like they're robbing themselves. It doesn't mean that you have to be all play no work, but
you have to plan enough to energize yourself as well sometimes.
That's right. And recharge. It's okay to recharge. Everybody's got a different way to do it, and it's important.
Agreed.
Okay, Carlo, what's next? You're on the Icon podcast. You are a high producer. You have Icon. You're with EXP. You're working hard. So how did you do it? How much production did it take in your market? What does the Icon Award mean to you in your own words, and what benefits came with it?
Let me see if I can answer that. I've always received awards at every company that I've been with. In fact, after my first full year in real estate, I hit the Century 21 Centurion Award, which was at that time, 25 years ago, $5 million plus in production. I really thought, Gianna, that one of the last awards I would ever receive was the last one I received before hitting Icon. And that was with RE/MAX. I hit the RE/MAX Hall of Fame. And I thought, gosh, I don't know what more there is after this. But you know what? With EXP Realty, see, all those other awards were only based on consistent top production. With EXP, they give you an Icon Award when you match cultural requirements, when you're willing to give back. Like, for example, you guys graciously asked me to join you on this podcast today. You're giving back. I'm giving back. And this is how our company grows, is we don't just have trainers come in from outside that maybe practiced 40 years ago that train. We have our top Icon agents give back to the community in our world and train as well. So when I received the Icon Award, I mean, you know what? It's not just that they gave me stock, that was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But really the bigger part of that was that I said to myself, now I'm really vested in this company. I have shares of stock to show for it. I'm a stakeholder, you know. So I really truly care about the fact that we grow this company, grow it as fast as possible, as professional as possible. And what hitting icon means to me is that I'm truly vested in this company. I worked at Remax. I worked at Keller Williams. I worked at Century 21, but I was never really vested there. This, to me, takes the agent and makes them vested in the company.
They really put the agent first here. You said it so well, that you give back here at EXP, and they really care about their agents and their employee retention. And something I think that you'll like, that I learned from an icon agent on one of my first podcasts, is here at EXP, you learn, you earn, and then you return. And so it's a great little melody, and it really does, summarize the culture here at EXP, with the mentorships. And, speaking of which, as an icon, are you speaking? Are you teaching classes? Are you mentoring? What path did you choose?
I just received my plan of action for that. And what I'm going to do is do some speaking and training in the world. There are other things you can do as well, as you mentioned, but that's what I feel. I have to train 6 45-minute sessions over the next 6 months in order to achieve part of that stock award, which I'm happy to do anyway. But why not do it if they're going to give me stock, right?
Of course, yeah. So what do you know yet? This isn't a trick question, but do you know yet, what kind of topics that you're going to be focusing on? Or
Yes. One of them is one thing we've already spoken about. I think it's so easy in this business to go, see a squirrel. You have to plan your plan of action, your work schedule, your downtime, and everything else. So I have found tremendous value in the ideal schedule that was shared with me 20 years ago. So that's one of the things I would like to train on, is to share that with other agents and how to construct their own ideal schedule with their own time with their families, and so on and so forth. That's one thing. I also have a little mini course that I'd like to train on, and that's what you need to do your first 30 days in the business. And then finally, I can take pieces from our top producer playbook. And what I mean by that is the gentleman I mentioned earlier, $100 million+ producer here in our market in Michigan, Mark Z, shared this with me. He shared his playbook with me, which, by the way, I've never received from any other agent at any other company. And I think everything we've spoken about up to this point kind of explains why, right? But now I come over to EXP, and this guy, $100 million+ producer, shares his top producer playbook. Well, I've taken it and I've customized it to my own team. And I've personally produced anywhere between 5 and 10 million over the years. So what I'm looking to do is try to help agents from $1 to $2 million, $1 to $3 million in production double, and do it not by working twice as hard, but more efficiently. I would love for an agent to tell me that I helped them go from $1.5 million to $3 million in less than 40 hours a week, and they had good quality time with their family, and they had 4 weeks off. That's my goal.
I love that. And, if you ever care to, a little bit later, once you have those a little more structured, do a teaser episode on some of those courses and, hop on my podcast again, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and we'll get a time scheduled for you. But, you said one of your courses is what to do in your first 30 days. So I'd like to talk to those beginners right now, those newbies, a little bit about the Icon Award, right? So maybe they just started in real estate. Maybe they've been in real estate for a little bit, but just joined EXP. Is the Icon Award something that they should try to grab at in their first year? What's an ideal structure for them, or some advice you would give them on obtaining the Icon Award, even just in their career at EXP, but, is the pressure on in the first year, or how should they go about it?
Yes. Gianna, to tell you the truth, when I switched over to EXP, I said to myself, I'm an Icon agent. Why not? And tell you the truth, I didn't focus on it, so I didn't hit it my first year here.
Yeah.
A little bit embarrassing. Well, a little bit embarrassing, though. It is okay. but it's a little embarrassing because I knew that I had the ability to do it. So what I had to do was go back to some of these things I've mentioned, like my ideal schedule, and get more structured as to the deliberate things I was going to do to hit it. Well, I hit it the next year. So now I'm going into my third year with EXP, and I hope to never look back and always hit icon. So I'll always have stock coming to me every year. And you know what? 20 years from now when I retire, I don't know what that'll be worth. My friends at Remax were teasing me when I left, and they said, that stock's going to be worthless someday. Look, in less than 3 years, I have over 6 figures in stock already. Right. And, it goes down and it goes up. It goes down and it goes up. But I'll tell you how much stock I'd have if I was still at Remax. 0. Or almost any other company. I don't know of any other company that's really doing it. I think there's one called Fathom coming out, but nobody can catch EXP Realty.
No, I mean, and like, I think, okay, so I had a Icon interview this week, and he said that EXP is like a cruise ship, and the fact that there's so much to do all the time, you have to pick what you want. They've got yoga on the deck at 9, but they also have the endless breakfast buffet at 9 and Zumba at 9 and the pool party at 9. And so, you really have to focus what you want because there's so many great things going on. You have to pick your best interest. And so I think, your first year over at EXP, the fact that you did an Icon, there was a lot going on. You're bringing your brand over to a new brokerage. You're seeing that there's so many hours of training a week. You're leaning into mentors. You're trying to find the right upline for you. And that's okay. For those listening right now, people have Iconed in their first year. People have Iconed as part-time realtors. I mean, everybody has a different story, but at the end of the day, it's okay. There's always next year.
Right.
Because EXP doesn't want to lose you. Employee retention. Hello. Right. They take stock in you. You take interest in them, and it's a win-win for everyone.
You got it. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be on this podcast today.
Well, we're happy to have you. So let's talk a little bit. You've been to a couple of brokerages and, for long terms, and making that switch is not easy. And I'm sure at some point, before you sat down and saw the actual model and were like, oh my gosh, like this is the way. You were probably seeing the grass was greener and you were thinking, I don't know, looks too good to be true. They're a cult. This is crazy. I'm not sipping on that EXP Kool-Aid. What would you have to say to somebody in those shoes right now?
You read my mind. All those things went through my mind. I thought, OMG, what am I doing? I've been in this career for 22 years, and I'm like thinking about switching within the next week already. Mm-hmm. But everything I saw, it did sound too good to be true in a way. But I said, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? I'd rather be part of a growing company that's going gangbusters. And by the way, if I can share this, EXP had 8,000 agents when I came. And so under 3 more years go by and we just hit 77,000, 78,000 agents. I mean, KW was the fastest growing before this, and we've done it in half the time. Mm-hmm. So yes, it was a crazy thought to leave. Crazy. But I said, if you don't do it now, you'll talk yourself out of it and you'll never do it. And it's the best move I've ever made. And
did you wish you did it sooner?
Of course. I mean, if I had known about EXP 8 years ago when it started, it might have been a tough decision because they're brand new at that point.
Right.
But, yes, I wish EXP was always around. You know what? I'd have so much stock already, 25 years into the business. I could probably retire already.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm looking at that stock as a long-term asset, and it's already done very well for me.
And that's awesome, and like the cool thing about the stock here is I believe you have to leave it alone for 3 years once it's gifted to you. But, you can use it. It doesn't have to be long-term. It doesn't have to be your nest egg for retirement. If that's not what you're worried about and you want to put a down payment on your dream house, I've had some Icon agents do that. Some are buying investment properties with it. I mean, there is so much to do with that, and it is yours.
Well, and you're referring to the stock that's given to us, and you're 100% correct, but I've actually bought a bunch at $5 and $8 a share. And so, even though it's way down right now, I've still more than tripled my money from what I bought the stock at for the shares that I bought. So I've got shares that I purchased and shares that I was given. And that's the beauty is you don't have to buy any stock if you don't want. You can just rely on what's given to you. But if you want to buy some, then you can buy them out of your paychecks, or you can buy them on the side.
Mm-hmm. And that's the nice thing about EXP too, is you don't have to, right? Everybody's like, oh, I go over to EXP and I'm going to have to recruit. I know agents that have not recruited a single person.
Right.
That sucks because they're missing out on some passive income.
Yep.
A little silly, but they don't like it and they don't have to do it.
It is nuts. And to tell you the truth, in my time here, I haven't really focused on recruiting. So that stock that I told you about that I built has grown through both purchasing and then the stock that they have given to me for hitting your first transaction, capping, hitting icon. So there's a various amount of ways that you can gain stock, that's given to you as well. So you don't have to recruit. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to recruit. You don't have to, speak. You can mentor. You can coach. You can, somebody I had talked to earlier this morning was like, I can't get up there and talk on stage. I can't teach lessons. She's like, I'll freeze. And that's okay. You can lean into mentoring. You can coach a little bit. There's so many ways you can contribute here. And it's really, really cool that EXP is built for everyone as long as you want to be here.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to be here, we're not going to, of course, we want to tell you everything about EXP, everything that it has to offer. But if you don't want to be here, frankly, we don't want you here either. Because the attitude here and the culture and everybody's love for the company, it really speaks levels, and it makes us grow as fast as we are.
Agreed.
Awesome. Well, Carlo, I'm out of questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about today?
No, I think you've been very thorough, and I hope I answered your questions to your satisfaction. And more importantly, I hope it helps anybody watching this video in the future. So can I add one thing as far as my team goes? If you don't mind, I wanted to share the fact that I have put together a team that's a third-party name. So there are various agents in our marketplace that have grown really big with their name on the team. Mm-hmm. But what I find is it's a little bit harder to get agents to come work for you when you're working under so-and-so's name. At our team, it's the Real Estate All-Stars. So I love the fact, again, I mentioned this one other time, but I want to end with this, is that I love the fact that I can take somebody that's doing $1 million or $2 or $3 million and help them double by using their time efficiently and effectively and become an all-star agent. Because believe it or not, if they do $3 million plus in business, they're already among the top 10 or 12% in the business.
You're absolutely right. And we want to see you grow and come on over to EXP. You're going to wish you would have done it sooner, because you're going to get to meet these great icons like Carlo and learn from the best of the best, be on a team with the best of the best, pick your mentors and everything else that comes with it. It's been a pleasure today, Carlo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gianna. Appreciate it.
And I will be seeing you at EXPCon or shareholders. Maybe
I believe
both.
so, yep. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. Bye, Carlo.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at SphereRocketVA.com and find out how we can make your life easier.